Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Please stand and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Please join me in welcoming Andrew with today's announcements.
Good morning, everyone. Today is Tuesday, February 18th, and it is a green day. Ugh, it's that time of year again when we all lose our voices. I can barely talk right now. For sure can't sing, but guess what? I don't need to have a voice in order to participate in the lip sync battle on March 13th. I'll just mouth along to Taylor Swift. You should come to the lip sync battle too, hosted by our very own junior class. Come to perform or just watch. Sign-up details can be found on posters around campus or with Mr. O'Brien and the Junior Class Council. Thursday, March 13th, and no voice necessary. Do you enjoy swimming? Do you like working with kids? Would you be interested in becoming a lifeguard this summer at the Kiwanis Pool? So please contact Ms. Moran's in person or via email. Returning lifeguards should reach out as well. We're excited to build our team for this summer. Erica Hellman of Rumble Strip is visiting campus tomorrow from A through C block. She will be speaking about classism, storytelling, and local reporting in Vermont to a large group of students in Fuller Basement. Erica is a Vermont native and renowned journalist who invites herself into people's homes and has uncommon conversations with everyday people. If any students or teachers are interested in attending, please let Mr. Keffer or Mr. Quinn know. A special happy belated birthday to Miss Kramer, who celebrated her birthday on Saturday. Happy belated birthday yesterday to Liam Bresnahan, Scarlett Cherpinsky, Casey Greaves, and Maddie Ross. Happy birthday today to Dominic Robinson Jimenez and Celia Sanchez Garcia Venezuela. Happy birthday. Today we have Alpine at Middlebury at 9:45 and JV and varsity boys basketball home versus Essex at 5:30 and 7, and it's senior night. So good luck to the teams and have a great Tuesday. Thank you.
We do have some late announcements. Congratulations to the top scorers on Contest 5 of the New England Math League, who scored 5 out of 6 points. Rostik Kromenkov, Isaac Lenzini, and Mo Liu. We earned a team score of 23 out of 30. The final contest will be held on Tuesday, March 11th. Congratulations to the top math scorers. And 8 science Olympians attended the Dartmouth Invitational on Saturday and competed against 15 other teams. The SJA Olympians had some great event performances. Donnelly Johnson, ZZ Davis, and Charlie Perales earned silver medals in the Dynamic Planet and Optics events. Bronze medals were earned by ZZ, Charlie, and Polly Jin in Astronomy, Anatomy, and Codebuster events. Congratulations to Science Olympiad. And congratulations to Emmett Johnson, who was named the 24-25 Vermont Gatorade Boys Cross Country Player of the Year. Emmett is only the 3rd Hilltopper boy to receive this award for cross country. Congratulations, Emmett. The gymnastics team earned a 2nd place team finish at the state championships held at CVU on Saturday morning. With a huge all-around score, Lydia Ruggles earned 1st place for the 2nd year in a row. She is the only gymnast in the state to earn 1st place all-around 2 years in a row. The team score was helped by Zoe Glantz-Brush, who finished out her senior year with another solid beam routine, and Cadence Rathburn, who added to the team's points on floor. Hannah Wood held her own with the upperclassmen and placed 4th all around and is now the reigning beam state champion, placing 1st. Congratulations to the entire team on a successful season. And the bowling team finished up regular season in the Central Division Regional Finals on Saturday. They took the #1 seed into match play and beat Craftsbury in 2 games, but lost to Randolph in the final match. Rory Knott had his best day yet, bowling 200 and 203 in his individual games, and he had a strong performance in match play. 5 Hilltopper bowlers qualified for individual finals on the weekend, including Rory, Keegan Norrie, and Connor Simmons. Congratulations, bowling. And our last late announcement, after a hiatus, the One Act Festival returned to the Black Box on Friday night. This year's event featured several wonderful plays, spirited music, and yes, or rather, yes and improv. Congratulations to all who participated in this truly remarkable event. It was a wonderful evening. This morning, it's my privilege to announce that senior Dylan Chen has been recognized as a finalist in the National Merit Scholarship Program. Over 1.3 million juniors participated in the 2025 National Merit Scholarship Program by taking the 2023 preliminary SAT National Merit Scholarship Qualifying Test. From that number, 16,000 students, just a bit over 1% of the total, are named as finalists. Merit Scholar designees are selected based on their skills, accomplishments, and potential for success in rigorous college studies. Dylan's recognition as a National Merit Scholarship finalist is truly impressive, and the Academy is proud to have Dylan represent the academic excellence that we have here at the Academy. Dylan, please join me on stage. Folks in Fuller, please join me in recognizing Dylan Chen. At this time, it's my pleasure to welcome 2 guests to the stage from the AP African American History class with a presentation for Black History Month. Please join me in welcoming Kaya Kendall and Alia Davis.
Good morning, I'm Kaya,
I'm Alia.
and we are currently taking AP African American Studies and are here to talk about Queen Njinga.
When the history of African Americans is taught, the story often begins with Africans being taken across the Atlantic to the Americas. Not often is the history and culture of African Americans prior to the international slave trade talked about.
In Africa, there are many thriving, complex empires with many cultural traditions. Today, we're going to tell you about a powerful African woman who led an incredible life and directly disproves the ideas that there was no civilization or culture in Africa prior to the slave trade.
A powerful empire that resisted European colonization for a time was Ndongo and Matamba, ruled by Queen Njinga. Queen Njinga's father was allegedly murdered by her half-brother, King Kilwanji, in a quest for power. He also killed Njinga's infant son so he could not claim the throne. King Kilwanji ruled for a few months until he called on Njinga for help in diplomacy with the Portuguese. When she arrived at the meeting, she's not offered a chair, and so she has her servant kneel so she can sit at the same level as the men throughout the meeting. She also makes a point to dress in traditional African attire rather than Portuguese to represent the power and culture of her people. As a result of the meeting, the Portuguese agree to everything she asked for on behalf of her brother, and she proves herself to be very skilled at debating on behalf of her country.
A few years later, her brother dies and Njinga takes the throne. She is a very powerful and successful ruler. She leads her people in a rebellion against the Portuguese when they attempt to kidnap her people for the transatlantic slave trade. When it became clear that she and her nation would have to defend themselves in warfare, Queen Njinga in her 40s began the physical training that most military men began in their 20s. She then ruled through 30 years of guerrilla warfare with the Portuguese in order to maintain sovereignty of her own people. She proved to be very smart and strategic, playing the Portuguese's game and gaining wealth, power, and influence for her empire. Queen Njinga went down in history to be one of the most successful and influential rulers in Africa, and a figure of feminism known only in Africa and the Americas. Her reign marked the beginning of a succession of powerful female leaders of Ndongo and other empires in Africa.
Njinga's story has great significance in the history and culture of Africans and African Americans. She was an example of resistance to the slave trade and the colonizers, of African power, knowledge, and society, and she gave her people a lot of pride in their homeland. Many African Americans throughout slavery and today lacked access to the stories, history, and culture of their homeland and were not able to appreciate these pieces. Attempting to erase and ignore African cultural history served the goals of white supremacy, that Africans were uncivilized and without history of their own. This ideology became so entrenched in the U.S. that white supremacists were able to argue that black people were being enslaved for their own benefit.
However, this is clearly false, as evidenced by the story of Queen Njinga, among other wonders in African history, including the Nok civilization, the libraries and universities of Timbuktu, and the walls of Great Zimbabwe, to name a few. As time went on, the gap in people's knowledge of Africa only grew. It is important now that this gap can start to be filled step by step. There are still so many stories of pre-slavery African culture. There is still so much to remember and so much history to be celebrated today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to A few weeks ago, I shared with you that it was International of that day, and that moment is right now. On November 1st, 2005, the United Nations General Assembly adopted a resolution that established International Holocaust Remembrance Day. International Holocaust Remembrance Day is observed each year on January 27th. That date was chosen because it was the anniversary of over 40 extermination and concentration camps on January 27, 1945. In the resolution, and by establishing the day, the United Nations urged every nation to honor the memory of Holocaust victims, including 6 million Jewish people and millions of others, including Jehovah's Witnesses, Roma, Black people, people with disabilities, people who were gay, and political opponents of the Nazi Party. The power of the resolution is in the way it seeks to honor the memory of those who were massacred during the Holocaust, but also in the commitment to educating future generations of its horrors. Even as it was established, International Holocaust Remembrance Day was not ever about the past. The United Nations understood that the Holocaust is deeply relevant to the challenges we face today. Around the world, we witness alarming rise of hate speech, anti-Semitism, racism, and xenophobia, issues that echo the familiar seeds of hatred that led to the Holocaust. Since 2010, in keeping with their commitment to educating future generations, the UN has established a theme for International Holocaust Remembrance Day. This year's theme was For a Better Future. On January 27th of this year, the United Nations challenged us to remember for a better future, to learn for a better future, and to take action for a better future. For a better future, we must commit to building a world where every person is treated with dignity. In our daily lives, that looks like calling out harmful language, volunteering to support marginalized communities, or learning more about our shared history. At this moment in time, when division often feels more evident than connection, the Holocaust reminds us of the consequences of failing to see the humanity in others, and calls us to choose. I hope you keep that in mind as you go into your day. Stay warm, faculty.
Something seriously wrong. It's not the cable and I switched cables. They said they're getting sound up through the booth, and they said the only way to fix it was they had to shut it off and on again. So it may be
Maybe a handheld mic?
Yeah, I will. I'm going to talk with John and Jim about this, because this is
That was tough for the
this
world.
is this is a bigger issue than I know what's going on.
Seniors. Juniors,